right, before we get to today's content, I want to share with you that I'm working on a new report exploring the topic of this particular content, which is the idea of passive income. I call it the Passive Income Report, and I'll put a link to where you can subscribe to be able to have that report delivered absolutely free to your inbox once I complete it below in the notes. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, I want to explore a particular topic with you within the idea of passive income. And I've been exploring passive income for a very, very long time, probably north of 5 years. I've been exploring the various ways that you can make passive income. I've been trying to leverage some of them, and I've learned some things along the way. And today, I'm going to talk to you about one of those. Now, a lot of people confuse the idea of passive income with the idea of residual income. So let's talk about that for just a second. What's the real difference? Passive income is the idea of something that you do passively, meaning that you do not have to put very much, if any, time into, and that thing or asset produces income on your behalf. So, a good example of true passive income is a savings account that pays you interest. Now, we all know they don't pay a lot of interest, pennies on the dollar, right? But that is passive income. You didn't have to do anything extra to earn that income. Whereas residual income is something that just keeps coming to you over and over and over. A good example of residual income, or I'll probably give you a couple of examples, is subscription based income. So you do an activity one time and then you keep getting paid for it on a regular basis. That's residual income. So that's why tech companies have subscription based models like Zoom that I'm using to record this with. They charge you per month. That's a residual income model for them. By the way, investors for startups love residual models because it's easy to predict on an ongoing basis how much money you're going to make. Another idea of residual income that I have explored in the past is direct sales or multi-level marketing. You can build a team and you are making recurring income off of the products that your team sells. So don't confuse passive with residual income. The holy grail is to have residual passive income, right? But they're both really hard to accomplish. As a matter of fact, Gary Vee says, if you look at some of his videos online, he actually says, ignore the idea of passive income, that it's a bit of a fallacy. And I'm going to talk about that today, but I am going to specifically talk about one type of passive income and why I don't think it's the right way to go about accomplishing passive income. So, I do believe passive income exists, and I've explored some ways to get there myself. So, a couple of them that I've explored is investing. So I manage my own investing, and I've been able to grow that pretty well. So I have right now for this year about a 55% return on my money. That's passive income. I didn't have to do anything extra. I bought the right stocks. They've grown. Some of those I've sold, and I've made a 55% return on that. That's really good passive income. A lot of people talk about real estate as passive income. My family are real estate investors, and we are actually getting out of real estate because it is not as passive as we had hoped. It is not kicking off the kind of return that I think I could get in other avenues. So we're actually going to be leaving real estate. I'll talk about that maybe in another video. So my point there is you can get some level of passive income through real estate. You can build an organization. You could build a company. You could have a startup and you could grow it. And maybe you could get lucky enough one day that income becomes passive. You pull a Jeff Bezos, you retire as the CEO of your company. You then just become the chairman of the board. And that income is pretty passive, not 100% passive, but it's pretty passive. And then I did mention multi-level marketing earlier as a residual income, but it is not passive income. If you've been involved in that, you build a team and you can't just leave your team alone to struggle. You have to spend time with them and motivate them and coach them and help them bring on new prospects and all those things. So don't confuse the idea of passive income with residual, and don't even confuse passive income as something that you just absolutely never have to touch. In most instances, you do have to touch things. Now, another thing to think about as it comes to passive income is with a lot of these, it takes money to actually get into making more money. My father used to have this saying, he always said as an entrepreneur that it takes money to make money. Not 100% true in today's business market, but it does take money oftentimes to make passive income. So today I'm going to focus for just a second on the idea of dividend stocks and why they may not be the best way to make passive income. So there's a lot of folks out there. I think of the FIRE movement, the financially independent retire early movement. A lot of folks in that movement seem to promote this idea of dividend stocks to have passive income. Now, dividends are basically interest, is a way to think of it, that you get paid for owning a stock. So every quarter, that company, if it has had good financial results and has what's called retained earnings, money it's made after it's paid all of its expenses and taxes and things like that, if it has retained earnings, sometimes they will declare a dividend, a quarterly dividend, and they will pay out a percentage of their retained earnings as dividends. It's kind of like interest. It's the same kind of idea. It's just on stock that you own. So if you own stock in that company and they declare a dividend, they'll take the number of shares that you have and they'll calculate the dividend that you're going to get paid. So you can go out and you can Google all kinds of articles about here's the best stocks to pick to make $500 a month. Here's the best stocks to pick to make $1,000 a month. And you can make dividends off your investments. I have a few higher yield stocks that have dividends on them. For example, I own Pfizer. I don't know what it's paying right now. I bought it because it doesn't have a lot of room for growth, which is an important point I'm trying to make in this video, but it has a very high dividend. I want to say it was maybe 4% or something like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But my point is dividends are pretty passive income. You have to have the money to have bought the stock, but it will pay you on a recurring basis. Except, and this is the point that I want to make to you, that a lot of people miss in these FIRE movements or just investment, retail investors in general, people promoting investment as a great way to make passive income. Here's the thing. What most people fail to mention is that management of the company that you're investing in can just elect to not pay a dividend if they want to. If they feel like they have a better use for that money, for those retained earnings, maybe they're going to invest in another asset and it's going to take a lot of money. The board and management, on management's recommendation, can choose not to quote unquote declare a dividend in any given period. Now, Pfizer's a good example. When I bought their stock, I noticed it was a very high dividend. I didn't buy it because I thought it was going to be what's called a growth stock. So I didn't think it had a lot of movement upwards in the value of the stock. I bought it because of the dividend, because healthcare is a big thing. And Pfizer has a good COVID solution. I just got the second shot myself a couple of days ago from Pfizer. So what you need to understand is it's dangerous to bank passive income on dividends because they can be declared at any moment and management and the board can stop paying those dividends. You can look for companies like Pfizer that have paid it historically over and over and over. And yes, those are more of a sure bet. But the lesson I'm trying to impart to you is if you're trying to build a passive income portfolio, dividend stocks may or may not be the right place. They may be a part of your diversification within that portfolio, but understand that at any given moment, that stock, that management, that board of directors could stop paying your dividend and you're not going to have that anymore. So you need to be aware of that when you think specifically about dividend stocks and their role in any passive income that you're trying to generate. I hope that information helps. Until next time, I hope to find your voice. Have a great day.